County Board of Commissioners of April 18th to order. Roll call, please.
Brother,
Here.
McGuire,
Here.
Moran, Ortega,
Here.
Reinhardt,
Here.
Jean,
Here.
and Maras Castillo.
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm going to turn to Commissioner Ortega for our land acknowledgement this morning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Every community owes its existence and vitality to generations from around the world who contributed their hopes, dreams, and energy to making the history that led to this moment. Some were brought here against their will, some were drawn to leave their distant homes in hope of a better life, and some have lived on this land since time immemorial. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building a mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and differences. We are standing on the ancestral lands of the Dakota people. We want to acknowledge the Ojibwe, the Ho-Chunk, and the other nations of people who also call this place home. We pay respects to their elders, past and present. Please take a moment to consider the treaties made by the tribal nations that entitle non-Native people to live and work on traditional Native lands. Consider the many legacies of violence, displacement, migration, and settlement that bring us together here today. And please join us in uncovering such truths at any and all public events.
Thank you, Commissioner Ortega. I also want to just say welcome to Jada Lewis, our new Civil Division Director, who's joining us officially at the table. Good morning, Jada, and welcome to the table. Thanks. We're going to move to the approval of the agenda for April 18th. It's presented. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Ortega,
Aye.
Reinhardt,
Aye.
Jean,
Aye.
Brother,
Aye.
McGuire,
Aye.
Moran, and Maras Castillo.
Aye. We have the minutes from April 11th, 2023 presented for approval. Is there a motion? Second. There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Ortega,
Aye.
Reinhardt,
Aye.
Jean,
Aye.
Brother,
Aye.
McGuire,
Aye.
Moran, and Maras Castillo.
Aye. We can feel the positive energy in the room today, and I think it's because we've got a couple really important proclamations and recognitions, and we're going to start with the Volunteer Appreciation Proclamation. Commissioner Zhang is going to present that, and if you are here because you're a volunteer or part of the volunteer team, please join her at the dais. Don't be shy. Okay. Well, we also have Nanette Trudeau and Paige Alberg online with us, so welcome to them as well. Don't be shy.
Thank you for coming. And what an honor it is to have the opportunity to represent and on behalf of the county board to present this proclamation for recognition of our volunteers. So I will read the proclamation. Whereas the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners is honored to recognize and acknowledge the significant contributions of its contributions that its employees, residents, and partners give to the betterment of the community at large. And whereas every year, dedicated people volunteer thousands of hours in Ramsey County, and whereas the recycling ambassadors and Fix-It Clinic volunteers of Ramsey County are a county-wide resource of recycling professionals and volunteers who strengthen our community by supporting and leading efforts to reduce waste and educate the community. And whereas the volunteer recycling ambassadors have volunteered over 1,200 hours in the community since the inception of the program in 2021, engaging over 8,000 residents in waste reduction and recycling efforts. And whereas Fix-It Clinic volunteers have assisted over 2,400 residents at 57 Fix-It clinics since the inception of the program in 2015, helping repair over 2,700 items, and keeping over 16,800 pounds of materials out of the trash. Now therefore be it proclaimed, the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners declares April 17th to the 23rd as Volunteer Week in Ramsey County, and be it further proclaimed, the Ramsey County Board of Commissioners thanks all volunteers in Ramsey County for their service to the residents of Ramsey County. And so I was also told that joining us virtually are some of our volunteers, folks who make this happen. And so I would like to acknowledge Paige Alberg, Nanette Trudeau. And then for the folks who are in person here, I would love for you to come and introduce yourselves, and then I'll hand this over to Howard, who's going to be accepting this.
And tell us how you volunteer with us. That would be great. And staff, of course.
Hi, Andrea McKinnon. I'm a staff member. I'm an environmental health supervisor.
Ray Eden Frank, I'm the interim environmental health division manager and super proud. This is just exciting to have seen these programs from inception to actually being in action. So, yeah.
I'm Kaya Schlungen, and I'm the Fix-It Clinic coordinator.
I'm Mariah Quick. I'm the manager of the Recycling Ambassador Program.
Helen Broderick, a volunteer downtown St. Paul.
Excellent.
Carol Hansen, I'm a recycling volunteer and I live in Roseville.
I'm James Eck, fixologist. I do his fix-it. Do his fix-it clinics, and it's a lot of fun. I've been doing this stuff all my life.
Oh,
So,
thank you. Thank you.
thank you guys.
I'm Howard Freeman. I'm both a fixer and an ambassador for the recycling program. I do fix-it clinics all over the Twin Cities, in all the counties that hold them, and I've been doing them for about 10 years. But Ramsey's my home county, and my favorite, of course. And if you haven't been to an event, please come. The energy is amazing.
Yes.
So,
Awesome.
thank you.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, County Manager Sarah Holly, Director of Public Health.
Good morning, Mike Lindsay, Volunteer Services Coordinator, and thank you, Commissioner Zhang, Madam Chair, Commissioners, County Manager O'Connor, for the opportunity to celebrate this good work that's being done throughout our community this morning. Before I turn things over to Director Holly for some additional information about the success of these programs, I want to take a minute and share with you and our guests some of the good work that's been going on in the space of volunteerism across the organization. So many of us know, but those joining us online may not, that for decades, volunteering has been a major part of our service delivery throughout Ramsey County. We have volunteers in our libraries who help us reshelf books. We have volunteers in corrections who improve literacy in that space. We have volunteers in our parks and our green spaces. Just last week, many of us were able to gather with our volunteers at Tamarack Nature Center as they had their own acknowledgement event from the harvesting of tree sap in their maple syrup program. So really joyous event for all the hard work done in that space with summer programs as well. Other volunteer opportunities include tours of this very building, and have to acknowledge our volunteers in the election space as well. I think the focus of the last few months of this program has been on defining how this program can be a tool for community relations and community building, and also has a focus on some of the pathways to employment. What better way to get to know candidates than when they're able to come and volunteer within our structure, within our systems, and get to know us. I'm a good example of that, having served both at the city level in the district council volunteer model, as well as an election judge within Ramsey County. All of those opportunities and many more are available, members of the community, to take a look at ramseycounty.us/volunteer. So keep that in mind. We'll go to Sarah Holly here in just a moment, but I want to give you one other update. And many of you will remember at this proclamation a year ago, our previous Director of Communications and Public Relations, John Sigvaland, shared with you kind of a reminder of the strategic conversation that was had to bring that volunteer function to the Communications Public Relations Department in light of the retirement of our friend and former coworker, Mary Capuzzi. who did tremendous work in this space. A year ago, John told you that the department was in the final stages of interviewing people for that role. So here's the update. It's me. And appreciate the time to share that much with you this morning. And I'm appreciative to all the good work done by these folks and those who've joined us online across the org. And I'll pause here and turn it over to Director Holly. Thank you.
Thank you, and we're really happy that you're officially in that role now, so congratulations.
We're so happy.
Good morning, Director Holly.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. County Manager O'Connor. I just want to lift up Mike for a moment. He's been an incredible partner and resource, not only during this time, but throughout COVID. And communications, big shout out to communications. But today we're recognizing our incredible volunteers and the people that do great work here in partnership with Ramsey County. And so again, St. Paul Ramsey County Public Health Department, environmental health volunteers who are with us this morning, both online and in person. This recognition is beyond well-deserved. Our volunteers are an invaluable resource for the county and public health to protect and improve the health of people and the environment in Ramsey County. I want to share just a little bit about our recycling ambassadors and our Fix-It Clinic fixers, or our fixologists, right, as Jim said. And so our recycling ambassadors participate in a training program to learn about recycling and waste reduction in the county, and then they volunteer to help educate residents and support environmental initiatives in the community. And that's so important with all the great work that we're doing in environmental health. As you heard in the proclamation, recycling ambassadors have volunteered over 1,200 hours and growing and counting in the community, and engaged over 8,000 residents. Wow to that. In waste reduction and recycling efforts. So I want to thank you for your community leadership, recycling ambassadors, both here and online. We have an incredible group of people that continues to grow, and volunteerism is so important here. I'd also like to recognize our Fix-It Clinic fixers. Fix-It Clinic fixers are the backbone of our Fix-It clinics. They truly are. At our monthly clinics, these volunteers help our residents fix broken items, keep these items, as mentioned, out of the trash, while teaching residents to repair skills. As you heard in the proclamation, our volunteer fixers have assisted over 2,400 residents, helping repair 2,700 items, keeping over 16,800 pounds of material out of the trash. Our community loves these events, and they were really excited that we relaunched them in 2022. We'll continue those efforts and really look forward to growing that, both here in the community and in the future. So we can't make this happen without our volunteers and without the great staff that we have in environmental health to support these efforts. So I just want to wrap up by, offering a sincere thank you to our volunteers, to our staff, and for the board supporting the great work that we're doing in environmental health through our volunteer program. So thank you.
Thank you, Director Holly.
Okay, and then now I will have the privilege to pass this on to Howard to come and accept this.
Excellent.
Here you go, Howard.
All right.
Thank you so much for being an awesome volunteer and supporter. You have a time to speak. Would you like?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's really cool. We do all of this because we care so much about keeping stuff out of the landfill, and it's kind of fun to help people, and it helps save the planet and all that. So I can't think of a better way to spend my retired years than trying to get this, kind of keep this going and making it successful. And your support of that is not a given. Not everyone is so ready to kind of step up and allow some of the freedom that these guys have to buy us great treats if you haven't oh God, sumptuous feast. We're talking good stuff. But again, I repeat my invitation for you to come to an event, tell your neighbors. It's really good stuff. It transcends anything that has to do with stuff. Mm-hmm. It's about empowering people to not throw things away as a first result. It's about not buying new things when the stuff they have is perfectly good and can be used. And as we develop the Environmental Resource Center, it would be really great to consider keeping or making a provision in that, not just for holding Fix-It clinics, but for finding a way to divert items that might be repairable to a place where someone who knows a little bit about them can keep them from the landfill and pass them on to some people who need them. because that's totally awesome and it's free. So I would encourage you for a little space as you're doing that planning to do that. All right, end of commercial.
Wait, why don't you tell us what's the most common items you see in a Fix-It clinic so anyone watching knows what they can bring?
Number one item that we see at Fix-It clinics are lamps. Number two are vacuums, and then right behind that are probably fans.
Okay.
It's a little known fact that probably 1 in 5 items that come to us are not broken. But they're not working for the person that brought them in. So for whatever reason, they got that shredder and they got it turned around on the bin, so now the safety switch isn't happy and the darn thing won't come on. They're ready to throw it out. And so if we can just help them understand how it works, that's a very important part of our job, is to help people kind of get comfortable with asking the question instead of going, oh, I need a new one.
Right.
So
Excellent. And there's also sewing repairs too. So you fix and tinker gadgets, but we can also do sewing and repairs, zippers.
that's correct,
right?
yeah. It isn't just fixing stuff, it's about sewing stuff and keeping some of the textiles and things, which are hard to recycle at this point in time,
Right.
out of the landfill and kind of give them new use and new life through reuse as well, not just fixing stuff, but repurposing it into other things. So.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And Commissioner McGuire.
I can hardly not make a comment about Fix-It clinics because I love them so much, and I got my pile of things that I can't figure out, so I want to bring them to you. But
That's super, yeah.
I will say a great example I heard on one of our calls for the Environmental Resource Center, and you've mentioned them, but it was a blender. You know how people have the blender and you have to lock it in place for it to go on, and they brought it in and said this doesn't work, but they didn't know you had to lock it in place. So
Exactly.
things like that those are great stories. I'm so grateful to it. I just want to say that I've seen Fix-It clinics and the lines are out the door of our libraries and wherever they are. So I'm hoping with our new Environmental Resources Center that we'll have a lot more opportunities for Fix-It clinics and that people won't have to wait so long to get their things, fixed. And I don't want to deter people from doing it because they think there's too long of a line or that it's not enough times for this. So I'm grateful to all of you for all of your work, and and also with recycling ambassadors, I had a few people call me and say, I heard they were full. I said, I don't think they're full. I said, I think that we can use people as much as we can get the volunteers. So anybody who ever heard those rumors, keep offering to volunteer, bring your things to Fix-It clinics, and if one has a line, it won't take too long, but find another opportunity.
I don't know of an event where we've actually turned people away, other than folks who arrive at the very last minute because it takes some time to get the job done. But so it's a little bit of a wait, but it's kind of fun to wander around and see what other people are bringing in. So there is some excitement there.
Good. Thank you for quashing that rumor that it was too long.
So I happen to know there's a volunteer opportunity this weekend. Mariah, do you want to share? Sorry, putting you on the spot.
No, that's okay. There's quite a few volunteer opportunities actually this weekend because it is Earth Day this week.
That's right.
So on Saturday, I will be part of a volunteer cleanup of the Rice and Larpenteur neighborhood. So if you're interested, come out on Saturday morning and I'll be there. And we'll have some coffee and maybe some other snacks, but it's always a good time. This is, I think, my 4th year doing it as part of the Rice Larpenteur Alliance, and it has been very cold every time. And I was hoping this year it was going to be warm, but it'll be cold, but we'll have coffee. So yeah, look around online in your neighborhood. There's a lot of cleanup events, and especially when the snow melts, that's when a lot of trash gets revealed.
That's right.
Thank
you. And when's the next Fix-It clinic? Do we know?
Not fix the weather.
Yeah, so the next Fix-It clinic is actually next Saturday, April 29th at the Hmong American Partnership from 12 to 3. So registration for this one is required in advance. So you can go to our website at Ramsey Recycles /Fix-It clinics and sign up, but we hope to see you there.
Excellent, thank you. And thank you all for your volunteerism and helping us serve our community in the best way, certainly. So we really appreciate you. I'm gonna do a quick photo.
Sure. Yep.
Okay, we
I
gotta
was just
get
gonna
close.
I have to hold the thing here.
Where's the camera? Oh, there
Awesome. I'm going to take a couple, count to 3. So,
Just,
the microphone's down.
okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Another one. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right. All right. All right, next up.